Thank you for joining us today for Sunday Conversations. Today, we begin a series titled Failure to Communicate, where we get some inside scoop of how different couples handle situations. Sit back, enjoy, and delight yourselves with these conversations. Good morning. Welcome to Sunday Conversations. I am Minister Isaac, and again, we're back for our series, Failure to Communicate, where that I selected couples inside of the ministry that would come and actually talk about being married and about how there were issues that was failure to communicate and how that they overcame those issues. So today I got a brand new couple with us. Well, I have Brother LaMonte and Sister D. Smith here with me.
Hello.
And you guys can introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm LaMonte.
Hi, I'm Dee, Laura Smith.
Okay. Well, look, we're gonna kick this off. Okay, so you've already introduced yourself. Okay, so where you guys originally from?
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, originally. Born and raised, and I did most of my living lately in Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay.
I was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I lived most of my life in Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay, so are you a Roll Tide fan?
Roll Tide.
Oh, definitely. My son graduated from the University of
Okay,
Alabama.
I just had to make sure. Just see, because we have this infinite thing about being in the state of Alabama. You either Auburn or Alabama fan. Only in the state. When you leave is all right, okay? So how did you guys meet?
Wow.
Go ahead, man.
Actually, I was in the club.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I used to work sound for a band. After I got out of church that night, I did sound in the club. And I was standing there waiting for the band, for the live band to start. And I saw this lady walk in. And I said, if I had her in my life would be great. And that's my story. And I'm sticking to it.
Okay, D.
So, he actually saw me before I saw him. He saw me, that what he's describing that night, it was around 2000, end of 2011, beginning of 2012. I had just gone through a divorce, and at the time I was dating someone else. And so when
Billy D. Williams.
Okay.
Billy D.
So anyway, when he saw me, yes, he also saw who I was dating. But what's so interesting about the story of me and LaMonte is that every year it was almost as if God was showing me who my husband was going to be before he actually became my husband. He saw me in, I'm gonna say 2011. We got married in 2015, and every single year, and we only had one encounter with each other where I did not know who he was. I was at that same club, and I was upset because I don't like going to clubs. I wanted to go on a date, and at the time, the gentleman brought me to the club again, and I had an attitude. So I was sitting in the club reading a book as if I was like at a park. And anyone who knows anything about attending clubs, that is just like not what you do. And I'm sitting there with a whole attitude, just reading a book. And underneath the book, I saw these legs. And I didn't think nothing of it because, like he said that, there's bands, live music. So I'm thinking there was just somebody standing there waiting for the band to come on. And all of a sudden I heard this voice say to me, he
he didn't throw the voice on you, did he?
Yeah, it was that deep. He said,
did he throw that baritone on you?
Oh my God. He was like, what is so important in that book than what is going on out here? And when I looked up, I saw the cutest smile and these dimples, and I was like, oh, and I said, oh, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be with someone else. And he said, can I see that book? And I said, okay. And I'm looking around like, and he looked at the book, looked at it, and gave it back to me and said, okay. have a good day. And I said, okay, walked away. And I want to say that occurred about 2013. And long story short, 2015, I was rehearsing because I sang with a band, and he and I guess he called the band leader. Everybody I sang with, he actually performed with them or was friends with them back in the day, and I didn't know this. And so I heard my band leader talking to somebody on the phone with a deep voice, and one of my band members, she was going crazy. She was just talking about the good old days of perfect pitch, and and he just playing the drums, and I'm sitting back listening and watching this whole thing, and I'm like, okay. I said, Lisa, is that the sound guy? And she said, yeah, that's LaMonte. He the drummer. And I said, oh, I don't know him as a drummer. I know him as a sound man. And sure enough, I said, that's the guy that took my book. And so I took the phone and said, hey, do you remember me? And he said, yes, I remember you. And I'll just say, long story short, we talked that night for 7 hours.
Why did you delete me on Facebook?
Yeah, okay. He did. He said, I got a question for you. And I said, why? He said, why'd you delete me off Facebook? So I took my phone. I'm like, I ain't delete nobody. What? And well, I didn't find him, but we reconnected on Facebook. But that night, we talked for 7 hours, and he attended a show with us in Tuscaloosa the next day, and we've been together ever since.
The rest is history. The rest is history. So you guys got married in 2015.
Yes.
Okay.
3 months.
Wait a minute, 3 months.
I didn't give out dates.
3 months. Wait a minute, did he just say 3 months?
3 months.
So what you saying that you guys dated for 3 months?
So that phone call happened March of 2015. June, we're saying I do.
And we
Wow.
still together.
We still together.
And not going anywhere.
Oh,
And it's been how many years now?
7 in June 22nd.
Yep.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
And I'm happy.
Yes.
That's how powerful. You are the second person that I know personally that after 3 months after meeting each other 3 months later you were married. I know one more person that was like that, and they've been married for 12 years now.
Wow.
So wow. Okay. Hey, look.
So you have to understand the 3 months. We actually lived together, and we were moving into this house.
Mm-hmm.
And the house was so beautiful. I said, we can't get married we can't move in that house unless we get married.
Absolutely.
And the thing about it is, the lady that was renting the house to us said the same thing.
She said he was helping her husband
load
the car up because they were moving out, and she and I was watching them, and she looked at me, beautiful woman. She looked at me, had her eyes, and she said, D, you gonna marry him, right? And I said, yeah. And she said, don't move in this house until you come in here with your husband. And she passed away a year or two later. She passed away a year later. So, I'm so grateful for Carla. She really she really blessed us with that. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've been married since 2015, 7 years. Met in the club. Was that in Huntsville?
Yes.
Okay, in the club. Do you remember the club name?
Celebrities. Jordan Lane.
Oh, shucks. This is awesome.
And she actually tried to approach me. She came and stood in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
She stood beside me. I said, "This woman crazy. She need to get away from me."
No, we gotta tell the lemon pepper story. Oh my gosh. Okay, we just be taking over. We just hijacking the show. You gotta tell the lemon pepper story.
So
tell the lemon. Oh,
she came and stood next to me.
I was singing.
They hadn't started singing yet.
Mm-hmm.
And she came and stood next to me, and I was like, "This woman crazy. She knows she have a boyfriend. She need to get away from me because I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover." And I went on back in that kitchen while I was cooking. And she started talking about this dude ran from me. He's man, you scared of me. That wasn't it.
I just was standing next to him. You know, I wasn't like trying to holler. I just was standing next to him saying hello. Oh, okay.
So anyway, the band ate for free. Mm-hmm. And she would always order this lemon pepper
chicken.
I don't know why the waitress went to her and asked her, did the chicken taste like lemon pepper?
No. That's not what happened. So let me take over from this point. So she gives me the chicken. I'm eating it. Now, everybody, TV land, listen, you guys know, if somebody gives you something for free, you don't have the right to be real picky. You need to be thankful that you're not paying for any food. I'm up here getting bougie and whatnot, talking about, excuse me, can you come in? I think I got someone else's food because this doesn't taste like lemon pepper. She's like, oh no, hold on, let me get your order together. And she takes it in the back. Take over.
She brought that chicken back. She said, that lady said this don't taste like lemon pepper. And I said, okay. I threw that chicken on the table. I got some more chicken. And let me tell you, I brought out every lemon I could. Fresh squeeze out the bottle, lemon pepper seasoning. Oh, I hooked it up. I made sure her jaws tightened up when she did that chicken. You know how lemon... I did.
Oh, man.
But, so when I got the chicken, what he told me, he was standing in the window watching. Yeah. Now, I didn't know he was the cook. That's the irony. I had no clue. And so I ate the chicken, and y'all, I tell you, I've been wanting him to make that lemon pepper. That was the best lemon pepper in the world. I was like, this is lemon pepper. Oh, I was so happy.
Okay. They say that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, right? Look like that he found it. Looked like this time it worked the other way around. It was the other way around.
It did.
Oh my God. Okay. Question. Think of a difficult situation that one of you felt it was difficult, the other one felt that it was easy. And how did you come to a happy medium between that?
I can definitely think of one. When her daughter was in an accident, and she came to me and she said, I need you to feel like I feel.
Someone got to be the level head, right?
And there you go. And I understood what she was saying, but the greatest thing is I actually saw an episode, Law and Order, SVU. And the detective's son had been kidnapped, and his wife was hysterical. And she actually started hitting him. You need to do something. You're a detective. And he was like, somebody has to have a level head. And that's what I did. But she didn't feel that way. No. But in the end, it all worked itself out. We were happy. It's a lot of those situations.
Yeah. Okay.
I couldn't go to bed unhappy. We probably were mad at each other, but you couldn't tell it once we got in the bed. Not sexually. I'm just saying.
Even if it was, you could say keep it lit. Keep it all the way lit.
What are you talking about?
Keep it all the way lit.
So I would get in the bed and I would scoot my back all the way up to her. She couldn't do anything. You used to be gonna get up and go get in another bed or take this right here.
That's what I'm talking about.
The back, y'all. The back.
That's what I'm talking about, dog. That's what I'm talking about.
Ain't no pillar going in between us.
That's what I'm talking about, dog.
We gonna be happy.
Okay.
Oh boy, where to go my makeup?
Okay, great. You either gotta say that to that because I know it's a follow-on question coming.
Okay.
Just for that. Okay. Just for that. Okay. Okay. Who has the best conflict management?
I think once we talk it through, because Dee gets anxious, and I have to calm her down.
Yeah.
So when
I was gonna say that.
when she gets anxious, I walk away.
Yeah, he does.
So that she can breathe.
And
when we come back together, we have that conversation. And she said, well, I didn't see it like that. So a lot of times, people have thoughts in their head about a situation.
Yeah.
And until you talk to who you need to talk to, not everybody else. We need to stop going out our homes and start talking to other people. Because even when you go to a psychologist or psychiatrist, you don't know how they live. I always ask, how do they live? What they asking you questions, but they may have something going on in their home that they're dealing with, but they're counseling you. So I think that we need to work out our situations and problems within ourselves instead of taking it outside the home, because when you take it outside the home, you plant seeds into other people, and now they forming opinions about you and they don't even know you.
Yeah, I have to co-sign and agree with that. You know, LaMonte, that's something that I noticed. Now, I'm not really, I have to really be upset to really like lose my mind, but he's right. The anxious is probably the best descriptive of me, where it's like, okay, what? I just need a plan. So what are you thinking, or whatever, or I'm just tensing up. And he does. He literally like disappears. He goes in the basement. He's playing his jazz, and I'm just like, okay, so you not bothered by this? I mean, I know you understand. Okay, well then I'm watching TV too. You know, but one thing I am so grateful for with us. We are. I'm not gonna say we're perfect, but we do have a peaceful home. We do. I'm gonna tell you, if anything, we're probably more aggressive at rehearsal with music than anything. And you would think,
I'll be like, Dee.
When it comes to bills, when it comes to anything, we just laugh and chill. But when it comes to music, it just seems like hard. But you know, it's our passion for it, and but that's like the only thing. Other than that, you know, it's really a breath of fresh air to be able to experience that, you know. So I'm grateful for that. I'm really grateful for that. Blessed in that area.
Okay. Well, since you mentioned it, well, let me go on and take the questionnaire.
Okay.
You are the Ministry of Music for the a church. So, and you just said that you guys have to have the biggest argument when it comes to music. So, LaMonte, I'm gonna start with you. How being submissive to your wife as she's in that leadership role?
Well, I had to take a stance on be quiet, shut up, don't say nothing, let her do this. And you ought to see me back there twitching, like, you know. But you have to. My thing was, I had to be that way because I didn't want people to think that I had special privileges or that I was taking up for my wife when she said something off the wall or she said something that people didn't like or whatever. And I had to take that stance to say, that's not my wife right now. We're in here to do this and this only. And we get in the car, we have our discussions. Pastor said he wished he was a fly on the wall in our house. We don't have those conversations in the house. We have a peaceful home. That's in the car and at the church.
Okay, Dee.
Yeah. Well, you know that.
Okay. Well, Dee, no way. I want you to talk about one of the hardest moments you had as the minister of music and how that your husband disagreed.
Okay.
That's every week.
You know what? I said, out of order. I would have to say one of the hardest moments was probably,
Was it hard if she has to think that hard about it?
Yeah, it's more. I think the biggest issue would probably be more timeliness. I'm laughing. That's a joke because my husband, I'm militant, even though I don't have a big military career, like the way some of you guys have. But there's been a lot of things that I was trained on, and that I always took with that I still live by. And my husband's really carefree. He's marched to the beat of your own drum, almost, so to speak, to a degree. And so I think trying to, like, at the house, like, come on, we got to go. Listen, you should have woke up early. Well, listen, you can drive. Oh, you just said, you ain't saying nothing but a word. I'm going to drive. That's probably the hardest thing, because it's like, okay, now I'm like feeling like I've got to kind of chastise him like I would like I would an employee, and that is where it's really hard, because I have to go home with him. You see what I'm saying? And I have to live with him. I can't just say what I say and then, okay, now we got to bring it back into the house. But I was concerned that we would have to bring it back into the house. But God is really, I think God has really shown out in that area for us, because as long as I understand, okay, he's going to have his own way of doing things and his own thoughts, and he has to understand if I say this or do this, it's just a position. I think God has really helped out in that area, but it can be a difficult line, and anyone that's been in that situation can understand that too.
We gotta go home doing 90.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here thinking like this right here. Don Kennedy is not coming to move that building.
Who's Don Kennedy?
Don Kennedy is a house moving company.
Oh, Lord.
They will come and move your building to any location that you want. They're not moving that building. It's going to be there. And you have to think it's not just about you. You have to think about the other people on the road. And that's the way I think. We're going to get there. We're going to be, maybe not on time, but we're going to be there. Even coming here today.
Oh, boy. See, no, cut. See, no.
And we got here 5 minutes after 7.
See,
and what was Isaac?
No, but see, I said, listen, these are people's houses. You can't just show up when you.
I said they're not moving the house.
Actually, you guys were 55 minutes early to be exact.
Yeah, because it was originally 8.
At 8 o'clock.
Right.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Hey, I love when you come when you come early. So don't even worry about that. Okay, good. Okay. So what situation has caused a serious argument?
Other people.
Okay.
And other things.
Okay.
Other people, other things. Deep.
No, that's a true statement. I think, and he's right, and I think when we find ourselves, for lack of a better word, at each other, it always was circled around other people. There was always someone else involved in this discrepancy between us. He and I operate fine together, because at the end of the day, I just pretty much make a decision and a choice to accept him for who he is, operate according to how he operates. I believe he does the same with me. But it's when maybe someone else, like, okay, I'll give you an example of this. When we were dating, you know, that the ex was, there was still that transition of the ex. And one of the things he said to me was, you need to take care of that. You need to take care of that situation.
If you want to be with me.
If you want to be with me. And, which in my mind, I thought the situation was taken care of, but that's a whole nother, we'll have to have a whole nother conversation about that kind of stuff. But, you know, it was always situations like that where, you know, temperatures rising, voices escalating, and, you know, but outside of that, you know, it doesn't happen a whole lot with us. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. I just asked you, what was the hardest decision that you had to make? Yeah. What's the hardest decision outside of our ministry? Mm-hmm. Now we're gonna bring this back to our personal.
Okay.
What's the hardest decision that you had to make personally?
In my mind, I would think the hardest decision I had to make was to move from Huntsville here, knowing that was home for him. And the reason why I say it like that is because when LaMonte and I got married, he was about 49-ish years old. So here's a man who, and this is how I was processing it. He's seen it differently, but I'm like, okay, this is home, you know. And when somebody has their roots, all the networking, I mean, him and his brother, they can, you ever get stranded, lights out, just see the Smith brothers, because they can make a way out of no way through the help of God. I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like it. And they just he had a lot of connections, a lot of living there. But I wanted to go, and I knew I wanted to come back to the DMV area. And it was one of those things where it was like, I'm gone. So, but in my heart, I knew, I'm like, this, I'm sure this is tough on him. But I believe, you know, I think it, you know, you trusted, you let go, and we came through. And mm-hmm.
So what's the difficult decision for you, LaMonte, to make that move, knowing that Huntsville was your home?
Well, for me, everything was going through my mind. What am I going to do?
Hey, you guys just witnessed a portion of part one of the part two. So look, you haven't even seen the real funny stuff yet. Wait till we get to the other side. So come back next week. You will see the part two of the Smiths. Look, have your tissue ready, because you will be laughing your butt off. Until then, we'll see you next week for part two of the Smiths in this Sunday Conversation. Peace. Thank you for watching Sunday Conversations. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next week as we continue to bring you relevant content. Remember, God has a purpose and a plan for your life. Live life intentional.